I got a comment from a subscriber requesting a video on how to manage her finances better, rather, how she can be able to spend her money better. So, in today's video, I bring you the topic on how a woman can spend her money wisely. First things first, I can resonate better with this topic because I'm a lady and I've had issues on how I can save and then spend my money wisely if I need to spend my money. So the first on the list is tracking your expenses. Like I made in my previous video before I got the comment on this, I just touched a little on how you can track your expenses, right? So let's say you're making money and your income is, let's say, 50,000 naira, for instance. So 50,000 naira is the revenue coming in, right? But you need to know how much in total you are spending at the end of the month or at the end of the week. So by tracking your expense, what I mean is that out of the 50,000 naira, you should have already budgeted things you need to use the money for, right? Let's say you are living alone and you have to cut off your expenses alone. So out of the 50,000 naira, I'm very sure you don't want to spend the whole 50,000 naira on just buying things and paying for rent and paying for things, right? You need to still save. So this is where tracking your expenses come in. So what you need to do is, out of the whole 50,000 naira, let's say you need to pay your NEPA bill, you need to fill your gas, you need to get something that is very important, and let's say you've allocated 20k in your mind. Now this is what you're going to spend at the end of the whole month in total. So what you can do is that every day, if you go to buy something, you have to write down the amount of money you spend in purchasing that thing. Every transaction you make, whether it's subscribing for your Netflix, whether it's buying data plans, whether it's anything, you need to write the amount of money you use in spending or purchasing that product. So what this helps you to do is that at the end of the day or at the end of the week, you can go through whatever you've written down and see how much was allocated for this particular thing. Now, this is also useful. Here you can also see that you don't really need to buy stuffs like this. You can maybe skip them for the next time, or you just know that this thing is not really what you need. That is why you need to track your expenses. What I mean here is that you have to now identify your need and your wants, right? And also, let's say now you have a monthly subscription for your Netflix plan or your Google plan or something like that, and maybe you just wanted to do a one-off plan, right? And then the next month you already debited for this particular subscription and you don't really want to subscribe for it anymore. By writing your expenses down, by tracking your expenses down, not just going through your bank app and stuff, by writing it down, you can now say, okay, I was debited 2,500 for this plan and I don't really want to use it, or I don't really use it. So that's the reason why I should not be spending as much as this, or something I don't really need or I don't really use. Do you see how tracking your expenses can really go a long way? So let's say now at the end of the month, you are seeing that you spent a budget of, you spend the amount of 30,000 naira when you already budgeted that you should save 30,000 and then spend only 20,000. So when tracking your expenses, you can now know the things that you didn't do right and the things that will be corrected for the next month's income that will be coming in. Do you understand? And one thing you can really do, one easy thing you can really do, is to get a notebook or a notepad, even if it's your phone, to track these things. Now, if you want to go a little extra, you can download apps. That can help you to track these expenses better. Now you can download apps like Mint or personal capital apps that can help to track your expenses better. Now the second on the list is create a budget that allocates money to different things that you would want to spend on or save on. So let's say now you have your income of 50,000 naira again. Now you have to create a budget, right? This budget means that for, let's say, savings, you have this amount of money that you want to allocate to it. Let's say for entertainment, let's say for this, all the things, all the areas of your life that need spending on, that needs the bills to be solved, you need to allocate budgets for them. You need to allocate money for them. And what this will help you to do is that you don't go overboard and paying for stuffs that are really not necessary, or paying extremely for stuffs. Let's say for me now, what I do is that after my income comes in, I allocate for entertainment. Entertainment here, I mean, it's Facebook, WhatsApp, and all those entertainment. What I allocate is that, okay, for the data, I allocate this particular sum of money that I would spend. So when I'm going close to the amount of money, let's say I allocated like 15k for data, right? So at the end of the month, if I know that, okay, today I've bought data for this week I bought 5,000 naira, this week I bought 5,000 naira, the third week is coming and I'm about to see pay 5,000 naira, that's 15,000 naira, and the fourth week is not yet here. What would I use the fourth week? I cannot collect the money that I've allocated for savings into my data or entertainment allocation. Do you understand? So it will help me to minimize the way I spend, or the amount of time I spend on these apps for entertainment if I really want to keep up with my budget. That is what can really help you in the long run. Allocating money to specific priorities: feeding, entertainment, savings, groceries, shopping. That is really what I mean. Now, the third on the list is prioritizing your needs over your wants. Now, what most people do not realize is that needs are different from wants. I will repeat that again. Needs are very much different from wants. Wants is just you craving for something. Like you can live without it, right? You can really exist without having that thing. Want is just something that will add more value. Should I call value, right? Let me just use the word value. You add more value or substance to your existence. But need is something you cannot really live without. You cannot live without it. If needs are not in place, your value is really subtracted, right? But needs have to be in place. Now, what this tip is talking about is that you should prioritize your needs over your wants. Let's say, for instance, as a lady, I need human hair, right? I need bags, I need shoes. But can I live without a human hair or a wig? Yes, I can. Obviously, I'm not even rocking a human hair right now. I can even rock my natural hair if I want, or I can make cornrows and still live and still look very beautiful for the week. Yes, but once it's just me craving human hair, craving a bone straight, craving makeup and stuff like that, when it's not really necessary, it can just add a little value to me, but it doesn't make me. So what you should do is anytime your income comes in, prioritize settling your needs first before even thinking about your wants. Let's say maybe now the money now becomes excess, or maybe you got more money than you should have, which is a good thing. Then you can now think of satisfying your wants. Do not seek over gratification for your wants rather than thinking about your needs. Now, the fifth tip is to avoid impulse buying. Impulse buying is just you looking at a product. I'm like, wow, last minute, you're just looking at the product and like, I want this product, yeah? So for instance, now I might have a power bank that is lasting, but there's a new product that is in the market and somebody has already influenced it, like saying this power bank is good and stuff like that. And I already have a power bank, right? So I'm just seeing the ad. I'm like, wow, this thing looks good. The color looks fine. I want to buy it. I've not thought of it. I've not thought of the fact that I already have a power bank. I've not even thought of the reason why it should even be in my house as a second power bank, right? I just want to get it and buy it because I like the aesthetics of it, or I like that, okay, it just gives me a feeling like I have two power banks. That's impulse buying. So to avoid this is to take your time to think about the thing you are purchasing. See, there is something people usually say. Money is very easy to spend, but it is really hard to make. You see that money that you are trying to allocate to different impulsive buying and stuff. To make that money is usually very hard. Not like extremely hard, like you need to crack your brain and stuff. But the work you put in making the money is more than the work you put in spending it. So you need to really spend your money wisely. Because there's something the Igbo people say. Apata ego apafo. Eji abo ọgaranya. And I will translate to English. When you keep making your money and just spending, you can't become a king with it. You cannot become something great. You cannot become a billionaire with it. It's through saving and investment that you become a billionaire or even a millionaire, right? So just spending isn't the way forward. You need to really think about what you are putting your money into, what you are trying to spend your money on. If it's really important, would this thing really help you? Will it add value to your life? Do you really need this? Can you afford it? These are the questions you need to ask yourself before you make any purchase. Now, there's something I heard from a very popular YouTuber and one of my most favorite YouTuber. She said that anytime you really need to buy something, you need to ask yourself this question. And the question is, can you really afford it? I'm not just asking yourself if you can really afford it. If you want to get something, can you afford it 3 times? So let's say the power bank that I mentioned earlier costs 20,000 naira. Can I afford to get that power bank 3 times? Do I have 60,000 naira that I want to allocate into buying stuffs, right? If I answer that question and it says no, I cannot afford this thing 3 times, it means I shouldn't really spend my money on it. Yes, especially when it's a want, not a need. I'm not talking about food. I'm not talking about where to stay. I mean, extra wants for impulsive buying. Yes. Can I really afford this thing 3 times? If I cannot afford it, then I just leave it. I leave it and I think of other ways to invest my money or even make more money so that I can afford it 3 times and get what I want to get. So now the fifth tip is to shop smartly. Whenever you are going to shop for anything or whenever you are going to spend any amount of money for anything, you should also shop smartly. Most times you can even wait for when they are doing a promotion or a promo or a discount sale. Use coupons. Do not feel like you are too big to, use their coupons or use discounts. Like you have a lot of money and you can spend it. Even if when an app is saying, like say Jumia, an app is saying they're having 50% discount on Friday and this is Thursday. Do not feel like you are too, you have a lot of money that you need to buy it today, when it's not something that is already choking your neck that you need to solve, right? So you need to also shop smartly. When it's time for you to use this discounts and coupons and promo code, please use it, because it will help you to save money. It will help you to save money so you can use your money for other things that are very much important for you. So shopping smartly helps you to stay ahead and save better and still get what you need for a lesser price. So let's say now you are going to the market and there are two vendors selling the same thing that you need. Let's say you need a dress. What you can really do is that after checking the price of the first person, you can go ahead to check the second price, because the first person might just look at, oh, you look so nice, you're looking like a big girl and stuff like that, and then increase the price for you. And if you are easily swayed by what people say, you will just pay for the first one because you really think that that's the real price, but the person is just adding the price because of based off on how you look, right? Because what people usually do in the market is that if they see that you're dressing so nice, this is not to say that you shouldn't dress nice in the market or stuffs, but you should just compare prices. That's just what I want to say. Compare your prices between vendors. If this vendor says the amount is 12,000 naira, for instance, you will likely find that the other vendor will say a lesser price, right? You would now begin to think that if you had gotten from the first person, you would spend more for the same item. The same item, literally, which doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make sense. So you need to shop wisely and shop smartly in order to save more money and have more money to yourself. The next tip is to avoid unnecessary debt. I know very well that many people would want to take loans from different loan apps or even borrow money or then collect stuffs and want to pay back later. It's very normal and it's very common most times. But what you should do is to avoid debts as much as possible. Debts just have a way of dragging your finances down. Yes. If the thing is not about life and death, to me personally, I feel like you shouldn't even collect money from it. If it's not about life and death, let's say you need money for hospital bill right now, that's the only excuse to me that I feel you should really collect loans for. Or let's say now your income is coming in at the end of the month, let's say on the 29th or the 30th of the month, and we're on the 17th of this month. Let's say, for instance, you would want to collect money or borrow money from somebody just to buy or make your hair or do something. It doesn't really add up because you know your money will still come in. So why collecting loan for that? So when your money now comes in, instead of you to save and allocate money to different things that you really need to spend on, you now collect a fraction of your money and now pay somebody. Do you see that your money has been slashed into two? Do you see? Your money has really been slashed into two. And you're wondering how your money was being spent at the end of the month, because half of the money or more than half of the money has been allocated to settling all your debts. Taking loans are not really necessary except it has to do with life and debt. So you should avoid debt as much as possible. Even after you finish collecting the loan, say anytime you now see the person on the way, or anytime you get a phone call from the person, your heart just skips because you are owing somebody. And you can even get a lot of embarrassment in that means. So if it's something you can really delay, like gratifying your wants at the time, delay it to where you actually make your own money and then see how you can resolve that issue. Another way to spend wisely is to save for the future. In most of my videos, I talk about saving and how saving can literally save you. Saving can save you. I'm not talking about any other thing but saving. It can really save you. So let's say now you have 50,000 naira. What you can really do as a bonus tip for this video is to implement the 50-30-20 rule. What I mean by the 50-30-20 is that 50% of your money, 50% of your money, let's say your money is 50k, that's 25,000 naira, goes to expenses, essential expenses that you cannot live without, like for your rent, your utilities, your groceries, your foodstuffs and stuff like that. 50% of that money goes to those expenses, paying the bills for those expenses. Now 30% of it is to save. You cannot touch this money for any other thing because that saving can save you. Let's say there's an emergency that comes up, or you need to go to the hospital, or just something. You need that 30% that you've been saving to save you. Now 20% is now for discretionary spending. We cannot say that we just want to allocate all our money and stuff like that. Discretionary spending and investment, right? So we can't say that we just want to spend basically and only on our needs. Sometimes we really want to pay for wants. That is an excuse for them. So the discretionary spending and investment goes to 20% of your money. What I mean by discretionary spending is the things that you want, right? Like your entertainment, you need to sub your phone. Like for instance, if you're a content creator, you need to sub your phone in order to get ideas and stuff. You need to fuel your hobbies if you have one. Also, if you want to hang out with friends, go for dinner, or if you even want to plan a vacation for yourself, if that's really what you want, you allocate 20% of your saving to that. And then your investment, you need to invest in yourself too. You cannot just save and spend and save and spend without investing in yourself, getting educated, getting trained, getting things that can help you grow so that you can even make more money. Yes, you can make more money. You can get courses online, you can get trained, you can register for a program that can help to advance your knowledge in all areas, that can help you to now fetch more money to be saved and located for other expenses. That's it for today's video, guys. I believe this video was very informative for all the ladies out there. This is a wake-up call for you to begin your financial journey or resume your financial journey if you have been stuck along the way. And in my next video, I'll be talking about how to multitask and avoid procrastination in your daily dealings. Watch out for this video because it promises to be very educative and informative. I hope you've gotten a thing from this video. Please leave a like on this video, share your thoughts in the comment section, subscribe if you're a new subscriber, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.